All right, all right. Good to see everybody. Happy Friday, end of the week. Missed you guys yesterday. I've been traveling this week, so hold on just a second.
Are you telling me to go? Is that okay? All right. Well, then I'm going to go. Okay. So I was just talking yesterday about how it's so interesting. I've done this for almost 3 years. Obviously didn't speak the whole time, but how nervous I get every single morning. And one of the things that makes me really nervous is if I have to talk first. So great. So I was super excited about that. But the word that we're talking about today comes from April McCormick. So thank you so much for this one, April. Greatly appreciate the recommendation. And the word is going to be familiar to so many of us, and that is renew. So what is that? To make or become new, fresh, or strong again. And I'm not sure what direction Coach is going to go into, but I'm going to say that the quote that I found that I loved was, "We must always change, renew, rejuvenate ourselves, otherwise we harden." And I don't think any of us are out there looking, we want to be a diamond, but we don't want to be hard like a diamond. So what can we do to renew ourselves? And I found an article by Tony Robbins, who, we all, I'm assuming most of us know Tony Robbins, and he talked about these steps that we can take to renew ourselves. And I'm going to zoom in on my notes here, but here we go. Okay. So first of all, the first thing that we can do to renew ourselves, do you want me to keep going or do you want to? Okay.
Good.
Is give yourself a time out. And I keep thinking about like when the kids were little and you would put them in a timeout, but really you did that for yourself. Like at least in my house, like when they were being absolute beasties and climbing off the walls, Mom needed a timeout. So I'd be like, okay, we're going to have a family timeout. You guys go to your room. I'm going to go to my room. We're going to take a little break. And so what he talked about is that in our world today, it's so busy and we are plugged into so many sources that in order to renew, the first thing that we need to do is find time to unplug. So allow yourself to take that mental break, that spiritual break, and let yourself have permission to have downtime with as busy as we are. Number 2 is improve your self-awareness. So to discover this, we have to stop being blinded by our own emotions. I am always right, at least in my own mind. My feelings are right, my thoughts are right, what I'm doing is right. Like I wouldn't choose it if I thought it was wrong, but I have to realize that that's not always accurate. So if we can take a step back and be more aware of what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and figure out if it's truly accurate, we can renew ourselves. And with that is to build a new blueprint. And I'm reading that book I told you guys about yesterday, I believe, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it talks about that everything in our life, and I'm going to paraphrase this poorly, but everything in our life looks the way it looks because we're looking through it with our own lenses. We all have paradigm, we all have lenses in front of us, and that is how we see the world. And the way that he talked about it was the blueprint. So, part of our improving our self-awareness is admitting that we are living by a blueprint and it might not be 100% accurate and it might not be based on what we truly want. So check out your blueprint and see if that's really what you want in your life. And if it's not, well, grab the eraser and let's, draw up something a little bit new. With number 4 is reveal your purpose. So our purpose is what drives us. It's what makes us excited to get out of bed in the morning. It's what makes us pick up the phone. It's what makes us want to do the do, as Deb Schneider would say. And, what he said was that people are not intrinsically lazy. We just aren't driven because we haven't defined our purpose. So you find that purpose, and maybe it's that you want to live to 89 years old, 99 years old, 109, and you want to live a good, healthy life. and be able to enjoy your grandbabies and your great grandbabies. And so that means that today you're going to jump up and you're going to get yourself to the gym, because that's going to help you be healthier in the long run. The next one is break your patterns. Patterns can serve a really great purpose in our life, but they're also one of the things that can stop us from achieving our goals. So we can get stuck in these habits that don't necessarily serve us. If we always do what we've always done, we're going to get what we've always had. So one way that we can recognize and break our patterns, and that can help us renew ourselves. And then right there with it is examine our limiting beliefs. We have this talk in our head sometimes that tells us that, and we talked about this before, that I'm not good enough, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm too weak, I'm too. And we can see it in other people. It's so interesting when I'm on the phone with, Eva Marie, and she says something, I can say ding, ding, ding in my head. Ooh, Eva Marie, that's a limiting belief. But the ding doesn't happen when I think it myself, because I just believe it. So take a moment to examine what's going on in your head and what is truly accurate and what is a limiting belief, and transform your habits is the next thing. So we do things every day that are good, and we do things every day that are not so good. So check out your habits and see what you can do to improve so that you can empower yourself. And then lastly, I'm going to stop with this, is surround yourself with good people. Now, we are the sum of the people that are around us. So make them be good. Make them be like the Coach's Corner folks, of people that have similar values that you do, people that are striving for things that you want, people that are good-hearted, and watch that renew your spirit. So thank you, Coach. Appreciate. Oh, I have to keep going. Are you still listening? No. Okay. Well, okay. I don't know what he's saying, but that's okay. I'm just going to keep going. Oh, you need help to unmute. Okay, well, good. I'm asking it to unmute. I can't unmute you without your permission.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wow. That is called effective communication. So thanks for the lesson. April, renew. I mean, this morning I had a lot to share, and I had a conference call that ran over on my phone. In my car. So I apologize. But I really went with renew as in the definition that Andrea shared: resume and an activity after interruption. And where I went today was kind of my life. Maybe it's your life this week, or maybe this month so far. The quote I came across is, we must always renew, change, rejuvenate. Otherwise, we become hardened. And I want to challenge myself right now. Who's had life like hit them in the stomach maybe this year already with a 2x4? Or maybe it's not a 2x4. Maybe it's like a pin, like you were on a roll health wise, maybe your diet, and something derails you. Or maybe your business, man, you're doing something, you were lighting it up on the scoreboard, and something derailed you. So when the interruption happens, we've got to renew our spirit. We've got to renew ourselves. So is that renew going to take me 48 hours from the time that I realized I was derailed? Or is it going to take me 6 months? Or will it be the thing that I look up a year down the road and went, oh my goodness, I fell off the wagon and I never got back on? How many of you can relate to that? Like in one form or fashion of your walk. And so for me, renew is so powerful, because it's like, just in the last 48 hours of my life, I've been traveling this week, and it's been I've been like, my schedule has not been the same. So there's been disruptions, interruptions. And before I know it, my mental game is off. My physical game is off. My dietary game is off. My work routine is off. And I start like running up a flagpole with anxiety or out of control. Does that make sense? I'm trying to be a little animated. But before you know it, you're more irritable. Before you know it, you don't want to return the calls. Before you know it, you're not making the calls you need to make. Before you know it, you're eating, you know, a moon pie and an RC cola, drinking an RC cola. Before you know it, you're that ice cream is starting to call your name. And it's like, holy crap, that just happened in 48 hours. But what if the word renew snapped into your mind and you went, you know what? Nope, nope, nope. I'm going to renew myself. I'm going to rejuvenate. I'm going to change. I'm going to jump back on the tracks that I need to be on. And so that's where I went. Because of truly you on the coach's corner, my last 48 hours, I'm back in a renewed spirit because you constantly keep me looking and studying a word that always speaks to me. I mean that. Like April, you putting this word and this being your word for the year, it spoke to me in my journey over the last 48 hours. Or for some of you, it might be something that's happened to you. I know Dwight, you've been in the hospital this year. You know, somebody might have lost a loved one that's been on here. Life is tough. But man, the word renew, we must always change, renew, rejuvenate ourselves. Otherwise, we will stay off track and become hardened. We will become like this hard outer shell that ends up having all these limited beliefs start to creep in. I hope this adds value to you. It did me this morning. And so I'm going to leave you with this. If you've been there, if you're there, or if you get there, okay, renew your mental game first. Once you recognize you're off track, try to figure out and tell yourself, number one, stop thinking and start doing. I'm going to use business. You get off track in your business, stop thinking about all the plans and everything that could go on and make a call. Just simply make a call. Send a message and watch what it does for your mental game. Number two, stop being afraid of failing. We are all going to depart this earth at some point in time. And all that matters is the dash we're in. So we can be afraid of failing all we want to. And you know what we're doing? We're wasting time in that dash. And at the end of that dash, all that's going to matter is how many shots I took, how many opportunities I went after. And damn it, if I fail, I get back on the horse and I go again because I'm living this life and it's all about going after something. Stop being afraid. Number three, focus on your zone. What is it you're thriving for right now? What is it that's a burning desire in you right now? Like, focus on that. And look at what matters in that focus area and go do that. And then the last is relax. To get your mental game back on track, relax. What do I mean by that? Go for a run. Go for a walk. Get in the steam room. Get in the sauna. Get in the whirlpool. Find some time for you, okay? Because you and relaxing from time to time is what's going to extend that dash in your life to make more of an impact. All right, that's where I went this morning. April, awesome. Andrea, thank you for unmuting me and thank you for your lesson. Guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Happy Friday. I hope you have an amazing weekend. We'll see you back on Monday.
God bless.